Hello, YouTube. Good morning, and welcome back to, I want to say the show, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not on a broadcast. We're on a YouTube stream. Welcome back, world. What is going on? Dom and I here. Huddy, no idea. Maybe he'll pop in late. Maybe he won't. But it's Wednesday. We're doing some live trading. It is 9:19 a.m. Eastern. Good morning, chat. Master Fun, Zach, Baja, Chris, Mazen, Eric. Eric's in the house. Wayne,
Eric.
Thomas is in the house. Holly and Marion. Very nice. Welcome in. How are we doing this morning, Dom?
Doing good. It's Wednesday, on a short week. Done a good job so far this week to kind of stay in my lane. Had a couple plays work out over the past few days, and just trying to right many wrongs from last week. For those of you in Clover, you know that last week was the worst week of the year for me. Big drawdown. Just a 5-dayer so far. Got half of it back.
Very nice.
But was really demoralizing. So came into this week with some more specificity, being very specific in what I trade, not taking trades that are outside patterns. And so far, it's working. Just need to stick with that the rest of the week, get my mindset back on track. And that's why I tell you guys it's so important over the weekend to sit down with other traders, aspiring traders, mentees, mentors, and work through your issues, figure out what the cause of them is, find the root cause, and make actionable changes going into the new week. You don't need to be in a drawdown for a month or two to count it as a drawdown. You don't need to wait until you hit rock bottom before you make changes. You can make changes on the go, sometimes little changes throughout the week, but a lot of times you need that break, that reset, whether it's a changing of a week, changing of a month, to just get back on track, go back to the system, the blueprint of whatever you believe is the most successful for you. And I do that every single Sunday night, and it was a good one this week, and I'm feeling good as we kind of hit a mini Friday, and then we'll have a Friday again on Friday.
Yeah, for those who don't know, and probably you should know, but plenty don't. Tomorrow's closed. Tomorrow the market is closed. So yeah, today's like a mini Friday, and then the actual Friday on Friday. Which also no wine Wednesday tonight. Given that tomorrow is a weekend, or not weekend, a holiday. We don't have. I guess we have stuff to talk about, but people are out, people are traveling, people are doing things. So tonight, Wine Wednesday is canceled, but we'll be back Friday morning. Good morning, NASDAQ, as usual. Huddy, welcome in. How are we doing? Oh, his mic's not working. He's figuring it out. Anyways, while he gets that figured out, should we jump right in, Dom? Do you want to lead us the way with the watch list here?
Sure, not a big one for me this morning. Yesterday was a nice day of bounces for a lot of the oil and gas stuff. I know Kyle was interested. I was interested. I just never really pushed any buttons on like Husa actually turned out into a breakout. I really was on top of RBNE, which was the highest rangeful mover that we saw. But some real significant bounces yesterday. All those down significantly this morning. Trying to look here
Both
at the
offerings,
other ones
Husa
in the
and RBNE.
sector. Say it again.
Both offerings, Husa and RBNE.
Does not surprise me. I'm telling you, I've been saying it since the start. This sector is horrible. It's before it was like a 2, 3 week sector. Now it's like they pop a little bit and then they dilute them.
Yeah.
But not really seeing any of the others up today as well. Where's INDO? That one's barely scratch. But so not really gonna be on my radar today, any of those stocks. They'll stay on a watch list, maybe if there's a new set of them um, that pop off sometime into the end of the week. I'll keep an eye on those, but nothing actionable with any of them right now. I am holding a little swing position in CRWV. Well, not really. I guess it's a swing today because I was in yesterday, but breakout over the 166 area. Probably have a little bit too much, what's the word? Patience baked in here. I really want to see a blow off top. I want to see that MSTRS MCI style end of a couple green days in a row. But this one has a history of kind of it can break out and then stutter step for a day or two and then reset. So kind of probably just look around the 160 area around break even for exits if it fails and then continue to rewatch for another breakout. But as long as we hold up today's opening right around yesterday's close, I want to just be patient with it and see what this can do, and maybe push into the 190s 200 area. SRM is probably the only actionable thing I see right out of the gate, down 15% this morning. Fits reversal criteria for me after. Was this the Tron token? This is so
No,
good
this. Oh
catalyst
yes,
here.
I think
Really
yes.
nice squeeze out from the dollar area towards 11. Red day yesterday, and kind of opening inside yesterday's range right now. Let me throw this extended hours off. Yeah, where are we at right now? 650s. Yeah, so kind of opening at the low end of yesterday and watching that one. It's not a ton off its highs, tens down to the sevens. So this might go on one of those that has a caveat. Maybe it could break out as well. But when there's enough range here, sixes to the 10 area, I'd probably be really happy selling into that resistance. So if there is a good setup here for reversal, I will probably not be taking this one into a breakout. You think about SBET a couple weeks ago, not really my speed, being able to predict that. But if you can, I guess more power to you. But that's really the only big one on watch. TMDE is in that sector actually, and kind of a back burner if that wants to set up for a breakout over the 250, 260 area. Kind of a fresher chart that, even yesterday was what, just slightly green or barely red. Um, can't quite tell, but it didn't run 300% anyway. So that was on watch. And what is it? CRCL. Just gonna keep an eye on that one as well. Higher price stock, IPO that might set up for another breakout, which would be wild. But that's about it. A lot of third eyes and then SRM.
Nice. Huddy, does your mic work now?
I don't know, does it?
There we go. Hey, buddy, how we doing?
Hey, how we doing? How's everyone feeling today? Feeling sexy? Feeling good?
We're doing good. We're ready for our mini
That's
Friday
not the
before
adjective
actual
I was
Friday.
thinking.
No?
Uh-uh.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to spice it up a little bit, keep everyone on their toes
What are you watching this morning?
on the Friday before Friday.
Yes.
I struggled to find a good setup this morning. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I really got to force the needle if I want to. I'm long core weave, great breakout looking chart yesterday. See if it holds together. Dom already talked about it enough. I think all three of us are long at some level.
Mm-hmm.
CRCL, another one that I just have half an eye on. If it happens today, I'll be interested, but I don't really expect it to happen today. And then LSE is pretty much the only gapping crap I like, but right now it's not even gapping up enough for me to like it anymore. The other ones are just that there are more that I could take. There's just like either the float's incorrect for me or it's on the wrong exchange, so I just don't want to take those. I just so for me it's like unless LSE I think gaps up a little bit stronger, I'm probably not taking a trade today, and that's fine with me.
Yep. Right on. That's fair. Um, yeah, what, 2 minutes for the market open here? I am pretty much the same. I don't see anything that great. Yeah, as well. I am also long CRWV. The only thing I want to add here on this one after Dom and Huddy's commentary is, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? Like you could argue this was a little 2-day breakout, only to then pull back, but still then go. And then this was an actual breakout that went a second day. So we're going to find out today whether this is a breakout that's going to have an immediate continuation to day 2 of it, or are we going to chop around a little bit longer and do our thing? Because this is up a lot, but it's also been choppy on the way up to some degree. And as I say it's actually popping a little bit, so that's cool. But yeah, I do like APVO. I do have some borrowed as a gapper. But I do agree with Huddy on the other ones. There is PTLE, which is a former, what looks like a liquidation. You're not even here, right? So that's a little bit sketchy. That kind of throws me the wrong way. And RYDE, also the same thing. If we go back, former liquidation from 21 to 2 in about 2 days. So, part of me wants to take them because some of these do fade very heavily, and maybe we'll see one of these do that. But some of them will also squeeze you to hell or to the heavens. So, I'm a bit off-put by them. So we'll see. It's going to be a hindsight thing of like, oh, of course I should have taken her. Oh, so glad I avoided. But that's kind of the problem when I feel that way beforehand. Usually I feel pretty accepting going into it, and I do on APVO. I do not on both those lower price forward liquidation plays. So we'll see. As always, if you have questions, feel free to throw them in. We will not get to them until maybe 5 to 10 minutes into the stream. We've got 20 seconds to start. Couple other things to add. It was SMCI. I liked this idea over 44s. This is now pulling back even more. So probably not something to happen today or maybe ever. Who knows? Can't count on it. But yeah, here's market open. Let's pull up APVO. Let's pull up CRWV to see if this gets going. Yesterday's highs, I think it's already over yesterday's highs, right? 175.38. Just barely did that, and now we're stuffing.
I hate watching this one at the open.
It's quite
Can
be choppy.
probably got some offering risk there. I mean, good if you're short, bad if you're long. They have a shelf. Or they filed an S1 on the 16th,
Oh,
so 2 days ago.
Talking about APVO.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what that does here.
Makes me a little bit more intrigued, to be honest.
Of course, CRWV. Of course. Reminds me a lot of like when was it? It was this day.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, last time. Actually, yeah, we were live. We were here. Just stuffed the hell out of it. Oh, we'll see. But I'd really prefer it to hold this little last bottom in the afternoon, but it doesn't have to by any means.
Well, I just don't really want to watch.
Right? Just close our eyes. Put a stop in.
Just put a stop in and let it be.
Let's see what else is moving. Nothing much. PVO coming back. Tinley spiked to new highs there. CRWV. Market's pulling back more. So that could be a reason for CRWV here. Still battling this low out in the afternoon here. Why aren't we zooming in? Come on. There we go.
I'm kind of overwatching this stock.
really don't. I feel like I'm kind of oversized now that I think about it. If I do the math.
Interesting. LSE, if I go to the daily chart, it doesn't fit my gap up criteria, but if I go to the intraday chart, the open does fit my gap up criteria.
Isn't that annoying when that happens? It's like, which open am I using?
Well, I think that validates the trade.
Along some SRM there on that high day stuff.
On the stuff.
Well, it was more of a, I didn't know that till just now.
It's like I found out as it happened.
But I'll risk low day. Our BNE halted up, huh?
Really interesting. After an offering, might be one of those offerings though that isn't actually active yet till 3 days later or something silly. I'm downsizing CRWV. Probably shouldn't, but I also am doing the math in my head. And if I stop out at the lows yesterday, it's going to be a little bit too big of a loss, just slightly. So hopefully it comes back for me, but risk-wise, I realize I did my math wrong yesterday.
BVO on the move.
Was it BVO? VVO?
APVO? Was
Oh,
that
AP.
the one you guys were talking about?
Oh yeah, AP. I didn't hear. I heard VVO. I was like, wait, VVO. We got a new one.
BBGO.
This is on the move. Wow, straight up.
The reason I hate like trading the larger cap stuff or the higher price stuff is like your mind wants to like care about like yesterday's pull support like you would on a small cap and expect it to like flush underneath it, but it's like how often on these stocks does it just spend a minute and a half underneath it and then it acts like it was never there, and it's hard to make split second decisions on these, which is why wide risk is so much easier, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like I want to do the same thing, Kyle. I'm just like, screw this, like let's lock in something. But it's like the same thing happened yesterday afternoon, right around green red, like 159-ish, and it just like dipped underneath it, and then it was like that was the last dip.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
there's just
I in a perfect world, I actually did my math correctly on this breakout yesterday, and I wasn't oversized because I wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't be cutting if I was perfectly accepting of. But it's like if I'm risking 12K, I think my loss down here would be more towards 15. So like that, it's just I really don't care to lose more than I already should again. For those who are around on this breakout that we got stuffed on, I lost more than I wanted to as well. So it's like I already have a history of doing so. And so I'd rather not repeat that. Maybe it leads to less gains on the upside, but again, you can't only think about the gains, you got to think about the risk. That's typically how most big losses happen too. It's like you only think about how much you can make and not how much you can lose. And that honestly wasn't the case here. I just did my math slightly off by a couple thousand extra dollars of risk, which isn't a big deal for me, but it's a big deal if it's, 100%, 200%. But I was about what is that, 30% more risk than I should be. So, but we'll see. Hopefully
risk better against nickels.
yeah. Hopefully that's my sacrifice to everyone. Hopefully that's the low and this keeps going. Then we all make money. So.
I love when we all make money.
And we
Remember
all...
NVTS last week?
Shut up. We didn't.
Speaking of that, that's let's say
Turd.
back at 7, but yeah, quite the pull so far.
That vote is very interesting, I think. Now.
APVO.
I like that. I like it when they spike like that out of the gate.
Yeah, it makes it more fun.
I like it when you spike, girl.
Exactly.
We didn't talk about it, but it is a swing I have. TMC is just trucking along.
Dom, why is he allowed to talk like that and I'm not?
Talk about what?
His
TMC
his
here.
his bonerific plays.
Well, that's a word.
Wow.
This is
Look at that.
This is just going.
660s. Kyle, you know my Venmo, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My account number is 375. All right. Let's see what else is going on.
Some reversals are just painful to watch.
SMCI stand corrected. We're coming back a little. Just a wee bit.
I tried drawing some lines on SMCI and it was very tough.
Yeah, there's a mix of tops at the top here. There's no one
It
real
was-
true level, unless you want to do the last level, which is 44.71 or 72.
I was really trying hard to draw a line and I could not.
Too many lines. What's Circle doing? Still hanging around. Okay. We're slowing down for APVO so far. Let me take a look at the chat here. Something about KWE news. Let's take a look.
We
7 to 12, big move. Volume on the lighter end, but it's getting bigger, obviously. This last 2 minutes. What is it? It says Key West receives order of prototypes for next generation battlefield laser detection system with major North American armored vehicle program. Okay.
laser beams.
Ton of big words. Yeah, I want sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads. Well, good for Key West here. See how high it goes, but typically this has been a one and done kind of runner. N in chat casually puts TMZ 4 times and then corrects himself with TMC, which we've talked about. Yes, it's running. It's very nice. Dawson says, Relly said I'm not bad multi-day runner here. Relly, I think, briefly see this yesterday. Nice. Hopefully it doesn't crap itself. There's like a 50% gap up. Hopefully it keeps running and holds. So far, it looks like it's going to do that, which is good. Because we really haven't seen, I thought about this last night, we really haven't seen a solid, really beautiful multi-day runner that would like lead to a good first red day in a long time. I think the last first red day I shorted was EDBL, and even that one wasn't that good. 2 day into this way more liquid red day after almost 100 million shares in volume went down to 2.5. We haven't seen one that's really, really good in a while, but they'll come back. But I thought about that the other day. So really getting going would be pretty cool.
Really? RELY?
Yeah.
RELY.
Only because it's the only strong 2-day mover so far. Was hoping maybe some of the oil and gas plays were going to do it, but it's just not the case. Even INDO, which was the famous one back in 2022. I guess you can call this a multi-day runner, but again, these things are so news-based that it just, I don't know. You need one with no news. That's not tied to geopolitical risks for the upside and the downside. But
Geopolitical tensions. You got to imagine CRWV is trying to get some more fun.
CRWV. It is holding. If that was
Trying to get some more fun.
that was the selling, it's certainly not gone lower, which is great.
I don't know why you talk like this.
I don't know why we do this to ourselves.
I am the most pessimistic trader ever. I would never ever say something positive about a stock I'm in. I will only tell you what's going to go wrong or could go wrong. So that way, if it works, I'm like, huh, well, that's a nice surprise.
It's like, wow, yeah. It's like actually can't be disappointed if your expectations are literally the worst.
Oh, they're always low.
Yeah, yeah. Keep them insanely low. You'll never be disappointed. APVO pulling back more now. Could argue that was a lower low, but it was only 3 minutes in between. It's not a ton of time. Really, the only one right now is low a day, but that's still far away. Ideally, this becomes a little bottom, but we'll see.
Like CRWV is like the king of making me feel like I'm in the swing and I'm good, and then the next morning just being like ready to stop out.
Yeah. Reminding you that, yeah, it's still not working that great.
Like you just want to like weather the storm on like day one, get yourself a position, have the risk on, and then like it runs a bit. Like yesterday running from the 160s to 170s, you're like, okay, we're out of the danger zone. You can do whatever you want today. I'm gonna stay in you. And then it's like, no, we're gonna touch yesterday's high day, and then we're gonna pull $10 a share.
Yeah. Well, this one's tough. It's a large cap. It's like 80 something billion-dollar market cap up here. So this is kind of, it's in a territory that isn't necessarily, small cap easy when they are easy. Because if you ever been a part of a small cap breakout that works right away, it's like, why don't I always trade these? And then you're reminded that not all of them work that well. And so this one's, doing good. It has had to move from 140s to 170s in 3 days here into the breakout level. So maybe this does need a little more time, or it just comes back right away in 5 minutes, and then we're all happy about it. But
And then when you're kind of playing for a short squeeze, you know that's not going to be comfortable until it's comfortable, and that could be you could be waiting a day or two extra than you think.
yeah, yeah. QQQ, quite the recovery here. A little V shape in the intraday, but such a blip.
Yesterday, CRWV massively green while the SPY's red. Today, let's
Yeah.
stay red.
You're right.
I can't stand watching the SPY as a guide. Can't stand it.
I can't since starting to swing trade more. I can't stand how even the slightest blip of a panic like causes hell to break loose. Like it's one thing if like the SPY casually pulls back over like an hour. It's like, okay, everything's fine. No one freaks out. But if there's even 1 5-minute interval that is just like too much too soon, and it could be like 1/4%. It's like every single one of my swings is like now panic mode. I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? like it's just it just literally feels like everyone's just like on the edge of their seats all the time. And if they see even one movement the wrong way and their overall, index, they just freak the hell out. But
It only works that way to hurt your longs. Like I remember trading like AMC or like some sort of sector momentum like sympathy play.
Yeah.
And it's like you're watching it and it's like the main stock runs like 100% and your stock goes up like 4%. And then that stock pulls back like 10% and yours drops 50. It's like it only works to the downside. Like they don't go up with them, but they go down with them.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a great point. All right, APVO getting weaker here again. I'm kind of
So
annoyed.
dumb. Two candles matching each other in opposite directions.
So again, another lower low, but I made the mistake yesterday on whatever that ticker was yesterday, the one that ended up doing an offering, which is even more frustrating. But entering on a lower low, that was just not enough time, and so now maybe I'm being a little too cautious. But oh my God, TMC, we're just trucking, just keep going.
We're kind of a multi-day runner.
This is Speaking of multi runners, this could turn into that one. I don't know how good the red day will be, only because it doesn't have a good history of it. But if this becomes the most extended run percent-wise, we could have something on our hands. What's the biggest run this has had for? This has gone from, this was 110 to 190, so not great there. That certainly wasn't that good. This one was a little awkward with the gap and crap day on the top. 3 to 450, only 50% move. This is roughly 450 to, yeah, if we push like 8 or 9 and we get 100% off 450, that'll be the biggest move off the base we've seen. So hopefully I mean, 9's still $2 a share away. We got a ways to go. But
I got short LSE on this new low day here.
LSE. Nice.
What
What
does
to say?
it,
Still have a
how's
chart.
that up at the open?
Still have a chart above it, but PLTE or PTLE probably would have gotten short somewhere in here if I was still taking it seriously, but oh my god, look at this. Straight to highs of day. And straight to lows. Didn't you know, Dom, CRWV is an inverse. It's an inverse ETF.
I am like so overwatching this stock.
It's an inverse SPY and QQQ.
It certainly feels like every time I'm in a stock that's supposedly with the grouping, with the overall markets, it never ever is like the overall markets.
Yeah.
It's the outlier.
All right.
The one that's not magnetized.
Not in the magnetic 7.
No, it doesn't even. Doesn't have any of the right criteria for it. It's polar opposite.
Well, 166 is the breakout level, so let's see how we can do here. If we can just retest these 166s and keep running. Calvin S was run, not a good multi-day runner. Let's take. I did remember seeing this ticker, but I don't think it was that great. I mean, no. 7 to 13, so almost 100%. And yes, it was a multi-day run. But the reason why we're talking about multi-day runs here is because we want, at least I brought it up, multi-day runs, good multi-day runs lead to good backside first red days. And so when you immediately look at this multi-day run and see actually no red day at all, like you see these, but this isn't predictable. Like the first red day should have happened here, and it actually was another green day. So no, this is actually an awful multi-day runner with the context of I am looking for a multi-day runner to lead to a good short. This was a terrible run that led to look a good short. And even the ones before EDBL were like the IPOs, right? Bull wasn't a multi-day run. Bull was just one, but it had such great downside after that IPO run. Some people liked CRWV on this day. I unfortunately was not part of that day, but technically not a multi-day run, like a multi-week run to lead to some cooling off. NMAX was my best and most recent big 2-day run, 2,000% move that led to this massive red day. So stuff like that, you know?
You find cheap shares of Apvo?
I got some for 5 cents. 5 cents a share here. So we're
not being offered that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're approaching the longest time frame from not breaking a lower low. So if we can wait another minute or two, I do think I have to use this now. What is this low? 631. 631 is the level. Let me get orders ready just in case if it gets back there. Anyways, guys, couple more minutes here. Feel free to throw any last minute questions and we'll answer them. NST or says TPET moving and then TPET question mark. You gotta love when you gotta put some context behind it, Mr. N, of what are you looking for? What about it? You know, yeah, it's moving, but that doesn't mean I have to do anything with it. Stocks move all the time, and I don't see anything that I particularly like about this chart. Very choppy, very wicky. Makes it very unpredictable, in my opinion. Speaking of possibly predictable, though, SMCI here is slowly pushing up against the 44s. But let's get an order ready there just in case. We're far ways away, but I always like to preset orders just in case.
APVO.
Wow, nice save. Look at that. Right back.
Classic low float situation.
Dude, I'm watching it on like a 10-minute chart, and this is the most bogus. Like, it's just the biggest green
Let me look
candle,
at
the biggest red candle, the biggest body green candle.
that. Oh my god. Up, down, up. What does a 5-minute look like? Yeah, just split in half. What about 15? 15 doesn't even show the red candle. Just straight up. That's funny. Wow. All right. Is the daily chart and 1 minute intraday chart enough for your strategy? I mean, yeah, so when I pull up a chart, I'm immediately looking at the daily. And then when I am trading it or entering a trade, it's on the 1 minute. But obviously, as you just saw, we'll look at other time frames. I won't trade off them. But like we just said, we just looked at APVO. We looked at pretty much everything. We looked at the 1, 2, the 5, the 10, the 15. We can look at the 30 if you want. The 60 doesn't really do much after that. But yeah, I'll look at them, but I don't make any. It's not like I don't see anything on the 1 minute in the daily chart, and then all of a sudden I see something on the 5 minute. I'm like, oh, this is it. That's not. I don't do that. I'm not trying to look for a bias to confirm it for me just by changing the time frame.
Buddy sometimes does that with trend lines.
Change the lines, change the time frame.
Change the lines, change the trade.
Change the lines, change your life. Pete
You can find a
Daddy.
line to supplement your thesis no matter what. You can find a line for it.
Well, that's back to when N was asking about TPET. It's like you can find a trade. There's always a trade. You pull up any stock that has volume, you will find something to trade. Doesn't mean it's a trade for you or a profitable trade, but there's always something moving. And so the discipline to not do anything is much more powerful than the discipline or than the lack of discipline to just press buttons just because you want to. P Daddy says, Kyle, can you talk about what you look for in the long-term swing trades? So I'll save you time. Well, I won't save you time. I'll ask you to put in more time.
I'll give you more time to do later.
Yeah. Watch Kuomagi, Christian Kuomagi, his streams. He's got hundreds of streams. One in particular is called Swing Trading School. It's by far the most popular. It has the most views of all of them combined because that's literally where he just teaches you in a school format kind of thing. Watch those. That is literally all I've watched. That's all I know. And he can explain it much better than I can. I'm only a month and a half in. So part of me almost has like a imposter syndrome, right? Like I'm doing it and it's working so far, but am I qualified to teach it yet? I don't know. I'm just growing with it. But if you want to hear it from the source himself, I would watch some Christian Kuomagi streams. But almost no pullback from me.
SRM there.
What about SRM? Oh, nice. There we go.
I only trade them in. It has been a sleep fest, but we're there.
It's going for you. Nice.
Don't say stuff like that.
It looks terrible for you, Dom. It looks awful.
No, the response is, ugh, I wonder how hard that's going to yank.
Oh.
Like, any positive needs to be met with an equal and opposite negative that makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to lose on this still. The second you feel like you're not going to lose, the loss going to hurt.
It's like the opposite of that funny saying where it's like it could work, but it might not. Just like you always cover your bases.
Always.
Like it looks great, but you might stop out. Just saying.
I always lean on the side that I'm definitely stopping out. And if I have profits, I'm like, what a surprise.
Like, whoa. Yeah. It's Christmas
I
morning.
wonder if you charted all of the first green day reversals that you've taken on these treasury plays, what
Oh,
that looks like because I
they're
feel like they're
good.
fire.
Yeah, they're working great.
Like you even missed S bet. I think you were golfing or something, Dom, but that one was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was it easy though? I thought I looked back on it and looked kind of tricky out of the gate.
You would have bought it.
Yeah, me and Huddy did a webinar this
That
day,
was
and it
so.
was
When I looked at that, it's always those charts that you're like, that never happens when I'm sitting here. Like, what 30 to 100 or something, whatever it was.
yeah. All right, last couple questions. We'll get on out of here. It is 10 a.m. Are the videos on the YouTube uploaded by him? I went to the website and it says to go to, and it looks super sketchy. I mean, you type in Christian Kuomagi on YouTube, he's gonna have videos by him from his page, and then like he's got like 10 other YouTube fanboy pages of people who just make videos from his videos. Like you'll find him. He's there. People still make videos about him, and he hasn't what's it called? He hasn't done a stream in probably years, if I recall. Calvin says, personal question: how far do you guys live away from each other? Like drivable distance? No, we are all flying distance by hours minimum.
We're like past flying distance.
North Coast, West Coast, East Coast. We are
Midwest.
Yeah, actually, we are almost perfectly divided. Not perfectly on each
North
other, but
Coast
like
is an interesting one.
yeah, we are not. We couldn't be more
Did
separated.
you say
if you
North
think about
Coast?
it.
He did say North Coast.
We're just on. We're on the
Yeah, so he's so far from me that he doesn't even know where it is.
No, I know where you are. You're just. I mean, you literally can drive to Canada. That's North Coast for me.
Canada is actually south of me when I go.
There you go. North border. I shouldn't say coast. North border.
Dude, CRWV, you suck. Like, stop sucking. Write a memo to the CEO.
I didn't write a letter. One more question. Is Kyle looking for an entry cover around the close? Almost. What? I'm not in a trade at the moment besides CRWV, so I'm not really sure what you're referring to. Open entry. You're talking about gap and craps? No, I don't take an open entry. If that's what you're referring to there. Clearly, by APVO, I've dodged this massacre of a squeeze from 6 to 9.
For now.
Yeah, for now. It could be later. All right, last question. So you guys can't really grab a drink together on a bad trade? No, but we can jump on a little Zoom or Discord call just like this and vent to each other. And we often do, and or on Wine Wednesday, which again is not tonight, but we do that.
It's usually why we're late every morning.
Yeah. We'll jump on the Zoom and then start talking about who knows whatever, and then we're like, wait, we have a stream to start. So yeah. But anyways, guys, that is the time for this stream this morning. Remember, tomorrow market is closed. Tonight there is no Wine Wednesday. Friday morning is Good Morning NASDAQ back to normal timing. There will be, for 4-leaf clovers, a market open webinar with Huddy and I. And yeah, that's the rest of what the week looks like. And enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.